a circle is a circular blot of ink. Is increasing at a rate of 1/6 millimeter per second. Find the rate of increase of its area when its radius is 12 millimeter. Okay. Now, first of all, you should identify what are the variables involved in this question number 1. So can you tell me what are the variables involved?
dA over dt.
They ask you to find dA over dt. What is given to you?
dr over dt.
Correct. So if you can link these two quantities together using the chain rule, then you can solve the problem already. You can find everything that they ask you to find, right? So it is something like this, right? T is the time in second, d dt is the rate of change of x, dy dt rate of change of y. Okay, this one you know already. Then positive means increasing, negative means decreasing. And you should know the chain rule, right? So I repeat one more time. I repeat one more time. The steps that you need to take to solve this type of application problem. Okay. This I have listed out here. Now the first step is when you read the question, you identify the variables involved. For example, question number 1, you have identified area and radius. Very good. So you know area and radius. So you must use the capital A, small r, and one more variable that is hidden. They won't tell you one. What is that variable? T, that is time. So these are the 3 variables that are involved, and the last one, the T, they will not tell you. You must know how to put it in yourself. Okay, so after you have identified the variables, the second step is to list out what is given to you. The rate, the values, and so on. You list them out. Now, as I've told you yesterday, the reason why you need to list them out is that you can see clearly in front of you, right? And you can join up all the quantities using the chain rule. Now, if you have not listed it out, then when you write out the chain rule, then you have to look for the variables in the question, which is not written in symbol form. So you may be a bit slow, and some of you cannot see, right? So the first step, write out what is given to you in the question in the form of symbol. Then after that, you use the chain rule, substitute what you have inside the chain rule and solve the equation, right? So this is what I have written here, right? List out the rates and the values given, write them out in symbol form in your answer sheet. Okay, then the next step is to write down the relationship between the variables. Now, for example, here, circular block, radius of a circular block, find the rate of increase of its area. So it's between area and radius of a circle, right? So the formula is by r squared. So these are the things that you need to know. But sometimes the formula is given, like if you look at question number 6 here, the formula is given, right? Formula is given. Now, sometimes the formula is not given. Okay, sometimes it's like this, then you have to know the formula. So whatever it is, whether it is known or it is unknown, you write down the relationship between the variables involved. Now, after writing down the relationship, you differentiate the relation. Differentiate using your knowledge of differentiation. After you write down the relationship and you differentiate them, then you code this formula. Code the formula means you copy down the formula in your answer, this formula. dy over dt, dy over dx times dx in dt. Now, in this case, when you're talking about the area and the radius, what should it be? Instead of y, what must you write? You want to find,
dA.
correct. So you write down dA dt. Now, since this is A, so here you write dA lah. dA, then the bottom is what?
dr,
Correct, is dr. Then here,
dr.
very good. You know how to do this question already, right? You know how to solve this problem already. So that is what I want you to remember lah. So when you look at the question, you don't be afraid. You just write down all this. Once you have write down the formula dA over dt, dA dr times dr dt. Once you have written this down, then the next step is substitute in the values listed earlier. So the values that you have written on the question, on the answer script, you just put inside the chain rule. That's all, right? Okay, so coming back to this question here, the radius of a circular block of ink is increasing at the rate of 1/6 millimeter per second. How can you translate this into symbol? How you translate this? Radius of a circular.
Translate what, teacher?
This one, radius of a circular block is increasing at the rate of 1/6. So in symbol form, what is it? Rate 1/6. What rate they are talking about? Rate of what?
Rate of change of radius.
Correct. So in symbol form, what must you write down?
I don't know, teacher.
Rate of change of radius. Rate of change
dr
of
over dt.
dr dt. So you write down dr dt equals to what?
d
dr dt is what?
1/6.
1/6. What they ask you to find the rate of increase of its area when the radius is 12 millimeter. Rate of increase of area. Now, what they want you to find? In symbol form,
Pardon, teacher?
find the rate of increase of its area. So in symbol form, how you write this? Rate of increase.
dA over dt.
Yes, dA over dt. So I write here dA over dt. But I don't know the value. This value is asked to find. So you put a question mark there. So dA dt question mark. Okay. Then another thing given is radius is 12 millimeter. So you write down R equal to 12. So can you do these steps? Can or not?
Yes, teacher.
Read then change. Read then change. Okay. Now after listing out the rates and the values that are given to you, what is the next step? Here.
Differentiate.
Write down the relationship first, then you differentiate the relationship. So what is the relationship between these variables here, A and R? What is the relationship between A and R? The area of the circular block and the radius. Circular blot, okay, not block, blot. The relationship between the area and the radius is what? Area equals to A equals to
Pi r square.
pi r squared. Now this relationship without t, you have to differentiate. So the subject of the formula is A. So you differentiate A with respect to R. So dA dr is 2 pi r. So can you see that what I'm doing here from these steps here? Yes. So what is the next step? After copy down, after writing the formula and differentiate, what is the next step?
Differentiate.
Or differentiated already, dA dr is 2 pi r. After differentiating, what must you do? The next step here.
Put the formula.
Yes, you quote the formula. So what is the formula? dA over dt, dA over dr times dr over dt. Do you know what is dA dr? Do you know what? Yes. What is it? From here.
2 pi r.
2 pi r. So you substitute. Do you know what is dr dt?
Yes, 1 over 6.
1 over 6. So you put down 1 over 6. So this equation, this expression here has r. So you have to substitute the r with something. What is the value of r that you need to substitute?
12.
12. So you substitute 12. Then finally you will get the answer 4 pi. Now this 4 pi is dA over dt. dA over dt equals to 4 pi. Can you tell me in words? Can you tell me in words? Now it's in symbol. You translate them to words. Can or cannot?
The rate of change of area
Yes.
4 pi.
Very good. The rate of change of area is 4 pi, right? So area increases by 4 pi millimeter square per second. So because it is positive, then I say area increase. Okay, increase. Now this 4 pi millimeter per second is not always 4 pi. It is only 4 pi when the radius is r. When the radius is bigger, the the rate will be even higher. Okay, now so you must not think that the rate is always fixed. The rate is changing all the time. Okay, right. Now you read question number 2.